Welcome back, guys. So it's time to get back to the fun stuff and sticking it to Windows Defender and messing around with my favorite tool sets, the C2 frameworks. So for those of you that don't know, C2s, or command and control infrastructure or frameworks, are commonly referred to as C2s. And this is a system of control that cyber attackers or red teamers commonly use to maintain communication with their compromised devices after initial exploitation. The methods used to establish this communication can vary greatly among different attack types. However, a typical C2 infrastructure includes one or more covert communication channels between a victim's device and a platform controlled by the attacker, such as a staging server or various agents. These channels are used to give commands to compromised devices, download additional malware, or exfiltrate data from said host. I've tried lots of them in the past for red teaming activities, but today I want to focus on one that's really caught my attention and has been discussed within Hacking Time. That's the Havoc framework. Created by Spider, the Havoc framework is a modern, malleable post-exploitation command and control framework that I'm sure can impress. So the technical overview of this is that it has a team server, it's written in Golang, it uses a client UI in Qt and C++, and it has an agent written in C and assembly, and this kind of makes it a versatile tool for any cyber operation. What I also like is that it can generate payloads from various formats, including exe, shellcodes, and DILs. So, enough of the theory, let's get right into this. Now, if we head over to the wiki, we can see the latest version of Havoc and all the documentation as such. As you can see, it has the team server, the client, and the agents. The agents here are called daemons. And we also have a team server which operates the daemon and listeners, and it has profiles. And it has some external C2s, some custom Python API, and some custom agents we can also apply. Now, it's heavily documented, which is a plus when it comes to these sorts of things, because sometimes they just give you a link and then you got to figure out what's going on. So hats off for the documentation. So if we go into the installation, there is a huge command in terms of installing all the prerequisites. We could do that because Debian's running on Kali, of course. So let's get started. Now, once we followed all the prerequisites, and there are a few to follow, which I ain't going to bore you to death with this video how to install it. You should be quite versed on how to install it. If not, you can raise it in HT and we can go through it from there. But in this case, we can CD into Havoc and see what's going on. Now we're in Havoc. As I said, we got an assets folder, a team server folder, and we got a client folder. So the first thing we want to log into is that team server folder. Now we're in that, we can clean that up. We can see exactly what's in here. We have something called profiles. We have the install, which I've already done. We've got a team server. So what I want to navigate to is this profiles. Now, as you can see, it has 3 individual files here using this YAOTL extension. So this extension type is actually what's going to be run against the TeamViewer command. But we need to find what's inside these files first. So if we go into the directory, go into that team server, and now here are those 3 files that we just looked at. So first one is this Havoc one. Now if we look into this, we can see it's got a team server. It gives you the host, the port number, it gives you the build type, it gives you the operators that can actually log into the server, suppose. Then it gives you the service that it's going to run. Now it's saying this is optional. If you don't want to use it, then you could just remove this section. Then you have the daemon, which of course is going to be the agent sitting on there, and it's got an injection of spawning on 64 or 32, and it's going to spawn on system 32 or 64 a notepad exe file. Now this particular one I find doesn't work for me. So if we load up this HTTP version, now then, we got the same premise here with the team server with the host and port, and we also have this build. Most importantly, we got this operator and the listeners. So we need a listener because we need to call back the agents to this server. So per norm, we have to find our IP address for this particular box. So if we do an ifconfig, now I've got this IP address, can plug that in here. And we can under host, we can give this IP address to this host, and also give a host bind address the same address line. Running on port 443 under TCP. Not sure if that's going to work, but we can test it out. Next, we have this URIS, and it's giving us some file types here. It's also giving us some headers. I'm not sure where this is going to be used, whether it's sending information across, and that could be intercepted maybe on, say, Wireshark. I'm not sure yet. Also gives us responses to those headers. Gives us a SMB, maybe for the server itself. And it gives us also the same daemon, but it's running a different file. It's running a were fault exe file. So all we need to really know is what this operator's username and password is. So first one's going to be Ace, of course. And then we give the other one called Ace2. Save that. Next, we want to fire into this extension. Remember, you have to be inside the team server directory here. So we want to be at this level to fire this command, because we're going to summon against that .team server file in here. That one. So if we do team server, and then we could write server profile. So tac profile, then profiles, which would be that folder, and then we're going to summon not this Havoc one, because like I mentioned, that don't work for us in this instance. HTTP. Yep. Let's fire that off. Bam. Now we got Havoc actually appearing within the terminal. Let's elevate until it's done, damn right. Now let's see what's actually happening on the information level. We got team servers logs that are stored in data loot. That's that folder we looked at. Starting the team server on 000 with this port number. Starting team server handler, same address port number. And then we got an agent listener on the HTTPS listener on 443 on my port that I've given it. Lovely. So now we have the team server actually running. So we can leave that running on one side. We should start a new window, and then we can run the client like I mentioned. So let's cd into desktop and Havoc, and then ls into the client. Now ls. Now within here we only got one file to run, which is this .havoc file. So if we / into Havoc, bam. Now, this is the client that's going to connect to this server. So we need to give it the IP address that we have here and the same port number as well. So the IP address was there. Let's copy that, paste that. Remember, we gave him the name of Ace. We didn't give it the name of Devil. I'm going to new profile. Ace, bam. We said it was on 4.4. Actually, we'll leave that port for that team server. It's already gave it to us. And Ace. And I think it was password. Is it 123? Can't remember even the password it was set. 1234. And then we connect. Bam. Right, we have a GUI interface now for Havoc. Lovely. Right, what can we do from here? We got Havoc, we got new client, can view listeners. So we got our agent listener here. We got attacks, we can produce a payload. We've got script manager, we've got a script console, got help as well. Welcome to Havoc. Havoc is a software for adversary simulations and red team operations by Spider. Nice. Alright, next we got script managers and console. We got listeners, we got sessions in tables and graphs. Team server chat. Nice. So if we got my mates over at Hacking Time on this, they could jump into simultaneous sessions, I think, against one host. That'd be sick. All right. Next we have loot. We mentioned that in the documentation. That's where everything's going to be essentially stored once we've got anything. Event viewer. Maybe something similar to what shows in Windows. We've got team server, team chat. Nice. All right, so let's produce a payload. We want a daemon agent and a HTTPS listener, architecture, and we want a Windows exe, a Windows dill file, Windows shell file, or Windows service exe. Sick. All right. We can give a sleep value for how long it's going to be inactive. Sleep technique. We can give it foliage or echo or wait for a single object ex. So this may be a way to obfuscate it past the native defender, I would assume. We have injection types. We have native syscalls. We have Win32. I'll leave the defaults for now. We can also spawn a specific exe from this. So if we say we want Notepad, all right, Notepad, and say if we generate this payload now. So it's compiling and generating this daemon. Right, we can save it now. So if we save it to desktop and Havoc, we can save it in this top level file. It's called daemon exe. I'm happy for that for now. Right, payload generated and it's saved. Boom. All right, so if we go back now, so if we start another shell, got shells for days. All right, if we got that, and then we go into the Havoc framework now again. Let's clear this up, make it look good. Now we have this daemon. Should be sitting right here somewhere. There it is, daemon exe. So that's going to be essentially our hook that we have to give to our Windows client in this case that we're going to test on. So if we use updog, which is much easier than using Apache. Nice. So if we give this URL to our Windows host, and we could just run that application within Edge. Find it so much easier to share between these V machines using updog. If you're not using updog, definitely install that and run it. Much easier than just using like Apache server, then opening the port, then sharing it that way. It's a lot of fluff. Now then, give the URL here for updog. Now, using this updog URL, as you can see, wherever the directory you're running updog from is what it's going to display. For example, here, so it's going to base a small mini server for you to share between your hosts. You can view it in browser or just download it directly. As you can see, here is the Havoc directory. So we can look for daemon and we can just download that. Now, daemon isn't commonly downloaded. Make sure you trust daemon before you open it. I do trust the daemon. I didn't assign keep. Make sure you trust daemon. So at least within Edge, it's not going to instantly download anything it thinks is uncommon or doesn't have the right signatures. So Microsoft Defender Smart Screen couldn't verify it. So Defender at the first base level for downloading it is protecting it, which is good. So I can say keep it anyway. And then it got found by Defender. So at the first level, Defender is protecting it. What did it find it as? It says it's severe. Let's see what the quarantine is saying about this. Protection history. So we had a severe threat blocked. It said it was a virus tool. Win64, Havoc Kid. Yeah. Threat app was removed. Details of it. Okay. So at the first hurdle, that specific payload was rubbish. So let's try another. So let's go to attacks, payload. Alright, let's try a different sleep technique. So let's try some foliage, native syscall, and we could try spawn a calculator instead with cal exe. And same thing here, just run the calc exe, generate that. Right, now we have a new payload. We can give it the Havoc directory again. We call it ace exe this time. Save that. That's been saved. Hopefully that can bypass this time the Windows Defender. Bearing in mind the version of Windows I'm using is 22H2 and it's using the latest patches and builds, because I think it's only fair to give Microsoft the chance to show that it can actually defend and not use some outdated version of Windows just as a case study. So we know this one's been blocked. Let's see on a refresh whether the ace exe can be blocked as well. So we have the ace exe here, and we'll run that. We'll keep it as a file. Yes, keep it anyway. Couldn't run, and then Defender beat us to it again. So sad times really that Defender is blocking the agents even getting on the machine. Good for blue team, bad for red team today. But we must continue, so I'll do what every person should do, and that is turn off virus protection completely. So let's turn this all off because I want to see what this can do if it was, for whatever reason, compromised. So let's turn that all off. And let's now try to rerun this daemon exe, for example. Keep it. Yes. Keep it anyway. And let's run it. Windows protected file. So there is a lot of prompts and protection before this even clicks or happens, which is really good. And run anyway. Now we have this running. What happens on the Havoc side of things? So as you can see here, we have a daemon who has checked in. So we have here administrator user on the IP address with the host name, and he's checked in successfully. Bearing in mind, we already tried 2 different payload types and Defender 1 on both accounts. So we need more work or different payload types to obfuscate around Windows Defender in this case. So let's see view. Maybe we could try a table view or a graph view. Wait, what the hell is this? So, oh, nice. It's drag and drop kind of style. So it gives us, here's the agent and here is the listener, I believe. View listeners. Yeah, so this is the listener. And we can edit the listener as well. So there was the host. Host location is round robin. Nice. There's the port I gave. Here's some headers. And I don't really like that because it's showing showing the victim exactly what it is I'm doing. No thanks. We'll save that. That's a bit cleaner. Alright, so now we have this in place. What can we do from here? So we can right click. Nice. So right clicking is fully GUI based. There's no really terminal work here at this point. So we can interact. We can explore processes and file explorer. We can mark it as dead if we're getting no callback from this agent. We can export, and we can also remove the agent. So let's interact. Nice. And what does that give me? Does that give me a shell? All right. So there's no ls available to me. There's a directory. Send task to agent. All right. So it looks like it's just trying to grab it. Task listed to agent. Oh, nice. So Alright, so it's within the download directory right now, and it's listing what's in that download directory. Cool. So if we type help, see what we can do. We can print the current working directory, and you can see there's like a two-way communication thing here, like a control center, like I mentioned, is pinging the agents on this side, and the agents report back to this control center and give you the information. Nice. We can upload documents, we can download documents, we can check in. So check in, what does that do? Send a task. Oh, nice. So when we say check in, it's going to give us session path, gives us all the agent ID, all the information we need here, the process that's running right now, and the version number on build architecture of the operating system. Cool. All right, so see if we can pivot around now. So if we can go into CD, does it understand that? And it's giving me an update. Where am I now? Print working directory. Where am I? So I'm in administrator users. So maybe I could CD into desktop. There's no autocomplete feature for this. So if we CD into desktop and then dir into the desktop, I believe there was only like 2 folders on that desktop. If I lost, yeah, there's an exe and a folder called ace. There we go. So now we're on the desktop itself. If we type help again, we can see what else we can do. We can shellcode socks. Can we take a screenshot? Nice. So we got screenshot here, taking a screenshot. Successful screenshot. Nice. So where is that? View, loot. Nice. Here's the screenshot for that. It's quite slick, really. It's quite smooth. I like its operations. It's not too clunky. The response time from the agent to server is not that bad either. Nice. So let's see what else we can do on the agent front. So if we help again, net.net, we can pivot around, upload a specific file, download a specific file. So if I say download, and what say if here, for example, we have a text document called test. Now if I say download test.txt, alright, and we go to loot, started download, nice. And where is this download going to be stored? View loot, all loot, screenshot downloads. Bam! There it is. So you can download straight away. I haven't found out how to. So if we double click this, it's showing us what is here. Maybe it's within the folder itself. Client. Maybe it's in assets. PNG, screenshots. No. Team server. Data. Loot. Got a few loots. Team server log. There's a test. There it is. There it is. So I was able to find the download, hidden a bit, but we was able to find it. What else can we do? We can cat a file, make a new folder. So let's just for kicks make a new folder, see what happens. Ace new. Alright, so if we go over here, bam, Ace new. Nice. Alright, so we have full ownership of this machine. It's just the sky's the limit in terms of what you want to do, PowerShell wise, injection wise. Like I said, we have the small caveat of currently on the latest version of Windows Defender, at least on a fully patched and updated 22H2 version of Windows, the agents themselves, the payloads that we tried to deploy, they didn't work. They got caught out straight away. But having said that, if that does improve, or you can obfuscate the code even more to make it less detectable, then you got a brilliant command and control framework to play around with and host your red teaming endeavors. Conclusion. Now that was the overview of the Havoc C2 framework. Overall, I thought the tool exhibited a high level of stability, with agents/demons remaining operational with a minimal to no instances of crashes that I witnessed. The tool also allows for easy modification and integration for custom APIs and modules if you wish to expand. This is also a great opportunity for me to announce we have created an open public section on our Discord channel. This is accessible via the link provided in the description, where individuals can connect and engage with like-minded individuals in the cybersecurity/hacking arena. Furthermore, for those interested in more exclusive access, there will be an opportunity to apply for membership to our Hacking Time members only section. Now stay safe in the cyberspace and peace out. See you there.